Welcome back, guys, to W.D.Y.D. CSP. What do you do as a central sterile processing technician? Hey, guys, what's going on? What's going on? Hope everybody is safe and doing well. Today's video, what is W.D.Y.D. CSP? So, the purpose of this channel is to educate and basically uncover the facts of central sterile processing, whether good or bad, to further educate those of us that have been in the field or just thinking of going into the field. The intentions of this channel is not to put down central sterile processing or make bad of what we do. Is basically to open the eyes of everyone around us, to give us the respect that we need in this field. But as I said, I will uncover the good and the bad. So last week we read an IFU from a manufacturer, and we basically dissected it. So we read it. Today in this episode, I'm actually going to process a small tray that I put together and go step by step with the IFU of a very common manufacturer of instrumentation. And one thing to note here when you guys are following IFUs and decontamination is that the IFUs are written and they're validated to follow exactly what the IFU states. That's the only way that they validate their instrumentation. So I'm going to do the actual IFU step by step by the book versus to what happens in decontamination on the real. The other thing that you have to take into consideration is that, one, I'm doing this from home. I'm not wearing any PPEs because there is no soil on these instrumentations. These instruments have been cleaned, sterilized, and they haven't been in use since then. This is my personal collection. But the one thing to note about IFUs is that when you follow an IFU, you have to follow the IFU of the manufacturer of the instrument. So I haven't been to many places where they use all the same instruments in a set. It may be different instruments from different manufacturers. So you have to cross-reference the IFUs, one. Two, the tray in which it comes from, is that from the same manufacturer? Because if not, that's another IFU. The stringer that you use, is it from that manufacturer or from another? You might have 3, 4, 5, even 6 different manufacturers when you're processing a tray. Now this is a flat pan tray, which is a wrapped item with a stringer, some instrumentation, and a retractor. And I'm just gonna assume that these are all, I'm just gonna pretend, I'm not assuming because I know they're not, but I'm just gonna pretend that these all came from the same manufacturer and I'm reading their IFU. Now I know for a fact that the manufacturer that I'm reading off of does make all these items. So that's how we're gonna tackle this. But if you're doing this in decon or in your facility, first of all, check to see if all the instrumentation is from that manufacturer and cross-reference the IFUs. I bet you there's some discrepancies in it. Also the stringer, the pan, we're just gonna follow all the way through. So you have to follow IFU to the T on how the manufacturer says it. So we're gonna start by reading the IFUs. So the cleaning decontamination, use only neutral pH detergent solutions. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, at first you can say, hey, only a detergent. Can we not use enzymatic? Okay, the next one says manual cleaning process, enzymatic / neutral pH detergent. So you can use either or a combination of both. Okay, let's get that out the back, right off the bat. Okay, ensure all processing instrument instructions are followed prior to cleaning. So the pre-cleaning, has this been pre-treated in the bedside or in the OR? So if there's pre-cleaning solution on there, it should have been grossly soiled, should have been removed. They should have did a nice job in the OR, and I'm assuming that they did in this process, okay? The other thing is when you're in decon, you should already have all your PPEs on, and you should be filling the sinks up accordingly. Now, this is a 2-sink setup, and basically, it can change in how you construct it. In this case, I actually have it backwards to what the IFU states, so I apologize. I didn't want to fill this sink up with a whole lot of soap, and then this one with just water and stuff like that. So we're gonna work we're gonna actually work the way it's supposed to be. So from dirty to clean, okay? And let's assume that the washer, disinfectants, or whatever, the pass-through windows is on that side. So we're gonna set it up exactly like this, all right? Step 2 says prepare the enzymatic neutral pH detergent solution utilizing drinking water with a temperature range of 27 degrees Celsius to 144 degrees Celsius, which is 81 degrees to 111 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit per manufacturer's instructions. So again, you have to see what your detergent says. Some detergents are a range of 68 degrees Fahrenheit to 120, 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So depending on the range, this falls within a range of most of them. So that's a good temperature there. All right. Place the device in the open, relaxed position with flush port open. Completely immerse the device in the detergent solution and allow it to soak for a minimum of 5 minutes. Actuate all moving parts during the initiation of the soak time. So if this is how we are in decon, we dump our trays, okay? And first of all, we have to follow the IFU of the tray. So if the tray IFU says the same exact thing, let's assume it does, okay? We are soaking our tray in the solution, okay? And then we're taking all our instrumentation, okay, and we're opening them up in the butterfly position, okay? Now, does it say open up all the way? It says place the device in the open, relaxed position. That's not relaxed. Relaxed is this, okay? So it should be open. It shouldn't be closed. If it has a ratchet, it shouldn't be closed. So what we do is we open up all our instrumentation here. And again, this is assuming that I have all my PPEs, guys, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm not wearing them here, but I want to be comfortable at home and talk this through with you guys. So this is all the instrumentation. Our stringer goes soaked in. Our retractor goes soaked in. Our instruments in the open relaxed position, and they're in the enzymatic solution. All right. The next step is actuate all moving parts during the initiation of the soak. So does that mean you get to soak it and just walk away? No, guys, it's telling you, now this is a foamy solution, it shouldn't be foamy. It's actually telling you that under the water, you should be opening and closing, okay, all your instrumentation, right? You should be sitting there, going through the instruments, okay, and actuating these bad boys for the 5 minutes that it's supposed to soak. All right, we're not gonna do the full 5 minutes here, guys, because again, I want to show you guys, and I wish, you know, sorry, I should do the full 5 minutes just so you guys can see what an IFU really entails. All right, so we're actuating all our instruments here, and of course, you want to be careful when you're going into the solution. Okay, because there are scissors in there. If they're sharp items, you want to be careful. That's why I recommend that you double glove. Okay, if you're going into decontamination. Okay, so I'm grabbing my instruments. I'm actuating all of them. Okay, it's opening and closing, guys. For all you guys that don't know what it means. All right. So, assuming our 5 minutes is up, okay, the next section says, using a soft bristle brush, remove all visible soil from the device. Actuate the device while brushing, paying particular attention to hinges, crevices, and other difficult to clean areas. Note, it is recommended that detergent solution be changed when it becomes grossly contaminated, bloody, and or turbid. All right, so I don't have a soft bristle brush. I don't feel like using my toothbrush. I'm just gonna use a sponge, guys. Okay, and we're gonna do the tray first, okay, because this is where everything is gonna go on. So we're underwater for 5 minutes. All right, we're brushing. Okay, the tray needs to be clean. All right. Okay, once it is clean, okay, it says we skip all the lumens because we don't have no lumens. It has steps 5, 6, 7 has instructions for lumens. So step 8 is rinse the device by completely immersing in treated water with a temperature range of 27 to 44, which is 81 to 111, for a minimum of 30 seconds to remove any submerse, not rinse, submerse in treated water. So this has to be either distilled or reverse osmosis water. So we are immersing it for 30 seconds. And I'm going to put this over here to catch the soil. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000, 8 1,000. Okay, if you have a timer. So here we are brushing. Okay, it's been under 5 minutes. We are brushing under, what you call it, while manipulating. Okay, and then we're soaking 30 seconds. Okay, after your 30 seconds is up, I'm gonna go put this right here on a absorbent mat to get some of the water while I continue to clean the other instrumentation. Okay, now if you note, okay, I'm brushing here, okay, into the soak. Okay, next instrumentation. This is body IFU, guys. Okay, manipulating here, brushing underwater, taking care of hinges. It is instrument by instrument. Okay, this is what the IFU is stating. Okay, you can interpret this however way you want and frown upon it all you want, but this is the way an IFU is validated. For each instrumentation, we are brushing to remove gross soils, okay? So is it saying that if you don't see gross soil, you can just go by it? I beg to differ, okay? I'm going to show you again what I think the IFU is stating, okay? And again, we're assuming that all this had gross soil. Okay, that's what we're going to assume. Okay, that's what we're going to assume right now. That all this had gross soil. Okay, it's soaked for 5 minutes. Okay, and now we're putting it to soak in treated water. Okay, and of course, occasionally you want to bring the instrument out of water to see if you got all the gross soil off of it, to give it an inspection. Okay, now here's the other part of this. This is a small set, guys. All right, this set is little. Okay, and a set can have anywhere from 1 instrument to up to 999 plus instruments in it. Okay, and if you read some of the IFUs, this is a pretty straightforward and simple IFU. Very straightforward and simple. Okay, it didn't require no pre-rinsing. Okay, which again, I have my opinion about that as well. If it's being pre-treated in the OR with a different chemical than what you're using to soak in the sink, then you shouldn't be mixing chemicals. So that chemical that comes from the OR should be rinsed off. The other reason to rinsing off instruments prior to putting in a soak is that you're changing the dilution rate of the actual soak chemical. So of the soak bath, you're actually going to change the dilution rate if there is some concentrated enzymatic spray on the instrument. So you're changing the whole chemistry of the solution, which can cause it to be ineffective in its cleaning actions. So, and also it is an OSHA law not to mix chemicals. Okay, you shouldn't be mixing chemicals. So that's the other part of that. So whether it's an enzymatic and an enzymatic, some people say, oh, it's an enzymatic, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter. What if you're not using an enzymatic detergent? You know, what if you're just using a regular detergent? Now you're adding an enzymatic to it. You change the chemistry of it, okay? So there is a difference, okay? What if you're using a certain brand of enzymatic for your soak, and then for the pre-treatment is a whole different company. You're mixing chemicals, so you know that is a no-no. That is a violation, and that's not a suggestion. So, just my thoughts, guys. So, we have soaked our instruments for a minimum of 30 seconds because, of course, I had that in there. We're putting that right here. Again, in the open position here. Okay, we're taking it out of the pre-treated bath here. You're also inspecting it as you're coming out, okay? That's a major part of it because it says visually examine each device for cleanliness. If visible soils remain, repeat the cleaning procedure until device is thoroughly clean. So, does that mean you just clean the one device that was visually soiled, or do you repeat the process to all of it? My take is that if you find one instrument dirty, everything was contaminated. So you have to start all over again, guys. All right, so it says dry the device with a clean, lint-free towel. Not lint-free, but we're gonna dry this off. And this is for the manual cleaning process, guys. All right, we are cleaning the device off. We're drying it off really good. Okay. All right. Drying the device off really good. Okay. So if you have air in your decon area, it doesn't say that you can use it, but in real life, we would be using air to dry off our instrumentation. All right, so note what I'm doing, guys. I am drying each instrument off one by one here. All right. So this is what the IFU states. We are going by what the IFU states, and I'm patting this dry because my paper towel is falling apart on me. I should be using a towel, but I'm using paper towels. Okay, just to give you a visual, okay? This is not what you're gonna see in the, I'm hoping it's not what you see in the hospital or in the surgery center environment. But then again, you won't see nobody cleaning stuff with Dawn's dish soap anymore either, okay? It was a practice back in the day. I think they used ivory soap on some of the devices. I can't remember the device off the top of my head, but it was actually in an IFU. Okay, and I'm visually inspecting here. Okay, if I find a soiled instrument, even a little bit, you start the process all over again. All right. So the instruments are dry. They're ready to pass through the window, or they have an automatic cleaning process right after that. So after step 13, if visibly soiled, repeat the process. It goes to automatic cleaning, okay? And that's when you would put it in an automatic cleaning device. So, let me show you. I showed you what the IFU says. Now I'm gonna show you what happens in reality. In many surgery centers and many hospitals, what happens is you see the pan, okay, or the tray. It's normally rinsed off and put away. If there is some soil in there, it's put in, it's rinsed, okay, really quickly. Goes through the cart washer, it gets ready to put it in whatchamacallit. Instrumentation, okay, is usually put into the basket that it came in cases like this, where it is loose like this, okay? When it's loose like this, okay, and if that, I'm sorry, let me back up. Being that this is a tray, okay, and it's not perforated, they will grab a separate basket, okay, and I don't have anything perforated. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have anything with perforations. I'm looking. Sorry, guys, I don't have anything perforated, but they will put it in a perforated basket, in a wire basket. Put all the instruments in. Put them in soaking solution. in the open position. Okay. In the open position. Emptying this out for a reason here, guys. So, the IFU says 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes to soak. I'm going to tell you right now what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and start breaking down my other tray. Okay? And if I have a wire basket, I'm butterflying all my instruments, okay, to stand them up in the basket. I wish I had a basket to show you guys, but I don't. I'm sorry. I apologize for this messy video, but you're butterflying the instruments, whether you lay them flat or you stand them up. Best practice is to butterfly them and stand them straight up, except for scissors. Scissors should be laying down in the basket. All right. You're prepping the next one. Once that is prepped up, these instruments here come over to the next side. Okay. Rinsed off with tap water. Switch over to treated water. Okay. Heavy items in the bottom. Everything is butterflied and it's passed through the window, okay? If you have an air gun, they're air drying this. If they have a little towel or something, they might, you know, they might dry off. They might dry off the pan for you, okay? I've seen these come through soaking wet too, guys. So I'm not even gonna sit here in front, okay? They might dry these off here for you. Okay, the instruments are sat there. Okay, and nobody really grabs these in a bunch. Okay, I'm showing you how this is in reality, guys. This is how it's done in many facilities. Okay, going through. Okay. These instructions for use didn't state ultrasonic, but some places will ultrasonic the instruments in a wire basket, not in this pan. Okay, the pan is sent separately. They'll ultrasonic it, throw it through the washer, disinfectant, and off to the other side. But if you notice, that didn't even take 2 minutes of a process, and that's what happens in reality, guys, compared to what the IFU state. Now, imagine if this set contained a lot more instruments. Okay, imagine. It contained a lot more instruments. And you followed the IFU to the T. One by one, you guys are scrubbing it 5 minutes. 5 is the minimum, 5. Not 4, not 4.5, 5 minutes. And you guys have to put this set together, put it through, and send it through. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this video. Am I speaking truth? Am I lying? Did I skip something? Did I miss something? Am I overreading an IFU? No place I've been to has been compliant with IFUs. Because first of all, no one really remembers an IFU or memorizes it, okay? Most of the instrumentation and a lot of the hospitals I go to have a 3-sink setup, okay? And if you're going from dirty to clean, the first sink is the rinse, the second one is the soak, the last one is the treated water rinse, or it can be soak, okay? Soak in enzymatic, soak in detergent, pre-rinse, rinse again with treated water, or as this IFU stated, is straight to the soak and treated water, and then a drying, okay? So it depends on how your IFU states, but I tell you right now, with this manufacturer right here, I know that the facility I work at and I've seen process these instruments is not compliant with this IFU to the T, okay? It's impossible to memorize every IFU for every instrumentation, every device that you ever process in your field. If you don't have it readily available to read out and follow the process step by step, you're probably missing some crucial steps in the process. Are we putting patients at risk? It's debatable, guys. It's debatable because, again, how important, um, and I'm not saying it's debatable because, I think that the IFUs are over exaggerating. It's what they validated. It's what they say that got the most consistent result, step after step after step, with every type of soil that they possibly used in every possible condition and worst case scenario. So if the instrumentation was not pre-treated and the blood or debris or whatever was allowed to dry, their process is validated that they can get the same results every single time. So soaking it for 5 minutes, brushing it while actuating, pre-rinsing and inspecting, to having to do it all over again if you have to, that is the proper way. So am I saying we're putting patients at risk if we're not following the IFU step by step? I'm saying yes, it is, because every situation is not optimal. Okay, the OR doesn't consistently, even if they consistently pre-treat the instrumentation, they're not spraying each instrument one by one. They are spraying the surface. What about the other side? Okay, they're not flipping instruments over and spraying again. They're spraying the surface, with enzymatic, and they're very quickly doing it to get to the next case. They might have missed a section on this instrument that had blood and it's allowed to dry. They might have missed the little illuminated area within this retractor where there was blood at. They might have missed the hinge portion of the stringer. They might have not had this instrument all the way open when they pre-treated it. Okay, there's a lot of scenarios to that. So following the IFUs is very important. So guys, let me know what y'all think. As always, stay true to yourselves. Keep it 100. Thank y'all for joining me. And see y'all next week when I post up another video on another topic within our CSP manuals dealing with education. Peace, guys.